Imagine heading off on the vacation of your dreams, only to face nature's deadliest predators instead of sunsets and cocktails. From crocodiles in African rivers to sharks in tropical waters, history is filled with horrifying cases where unsuspecting tourists were attacked and sometimes eaten alive, turning paradise into sheer terror. When you think of a relaxing birthday getaway in the Australian wilderness, the last thing you imagine is being grabbed and dragged under by a massive predator. But for 26-year-old Sean Cole, that nightmare became reality in August 2013. Sean, a bright and energetic tech professional from Darwin, had been invited to a friend's 30th birthday celebration at the Mary River Wilderness Retreat, a picturesque off-the-grid hideaway nestled between Darwin and the edges of Kakadu National Park. The retreat promised rustic charm, adventure, and an unforgettable experience in the Northern Territory's wild beauty. But lurking beneath the calm waters of the Mary River was a silent and deadly danger, one of the Northern Territory's notorious saltwater crocodiles. Despite warnings from the staff and the omnipresent "Beware of Croc" signs, Sean and a friend made what would turn out to be a fatal decision. They decided to take a swim across the river. The river, stretching about 180 meters across and infamous for its heavy crocodile population, might have seemed like a bold adventure for two young men, but it was nothing short of stepping into the jaws of death. What began as a casual swim quickly turned into a scene of horror. Witnesses on the riverbank watched in shock as Sean was suddenly grabbed by a massive crocodile, its powerful jaws clamping around him and dragging him beneath the surface. His friend, caught in the chaos, barely made it back to shore alive, leaving Sean alone in the water with the crocodile. Those watching could only scream and freeze in terror, powerless as nature's deadliest predator went about its grim work. For Sean, there was no struggle that could overcome the sheer strength and ferocity of the animal. In a matter of moments, he was eaten alive, a chilling reminder of just how unforgiving the wild can be. The aftermath was equally harrowing. Local police and wildlife officers launched an extensive search operation, scanning the river and nearby areas for Sean's body. It was a grim task, carried out with heavy hearts, and it took until Monday morning for authorities to recover his remains, bringing closure to an event that had stunned friends, family, and the wider Australian community. In the days following, authorities made the difficult decision to cull several large crocodiles in the area, hoping to reduce the immediate danger to other visitors. Yet, even this could not undo the tragedy of a young life lost in such a violent and public way. The incident served as a stark warning. The Northern Territory is not a place for casual swimming. The Mary River, serene on the surface, is home to one of the densest populations of saltwater crocodiles in the world. And for anyone thinking of taking a dip, it is literally a life-or-death gamble. While stories of wild adventures often emphasize thrill and excitement, Sean Cole's fate reminds us that nature does not negotiate. Crocodiles are not merely scary. They are apex predators capable of killing and consuming a human in seconds. And this is not the kind of story where the hero escapes unscathed. Beyond the tragedy itself, there is a human element that makes this story resonate. Sean's friends, who were supposed to celebrate a milestone birthday with laughter and joy, instead witnessed a nightmare unfold before their eyes. Alcohol and overconfidence may have clouded judgment, but the cruelty of the crocodile's attack was absolute. The river that promised fun and freedom delivered sudden, violent death. In retelling the story, it is tempting to focus on the exotic allure of Australia's wilderness or the thrill of daring adventures, but the sobering truth remains. Humans are no match for creatures designed by evolution to dominate their environment. Sean's death is a serious reminder that sometimes the wild is not to be tamed, and ignoring the risks of nature can lead to being eaten alive before anyone can react. His story lives on in news articles, police reports, and YouTube recountings, a chilling, cautionary tale for anyone tempted to test the waters of the Northern Territory's rivers. In the end, what started as a birthday celebration became a grim lesson in the lethal power of the natural world, showing that a single lapse in judgment can turn a day of fun into a life-ending encounter with a predator. December 2010 should have been a perfect time for sun, sand, and the calm waters of Egypt's famous Red Sea resort, Sharm el-Sheikh. Tourists flocked from Russia, Ukraine, Germany, and beyond, ready to swim, snorkel, and explore coral reefs teeming with marine life, completely unaware that their vacation paradise could quickly turn into a scene from a horror story. Within a matter of minutes, a series of shark attacks erupted in the shallow waters, leaving multiple swimmers seriously injured and shocking everyone on the beaches. Panic erupted as screams filled the air, and terrified vacationers scrambled out of the water, some bleeding profusely from deep bite wounds. One Russian woman had her hand and foot brutally torn off by a shark, while another swimmer suffered severe leg injuries, leaving her unable to walk without assistance. A Ukrainian tourist endured horrifying lacerations to his legs, and each incident seemed to occur almost simultaneously, as if the predators had coordinated their attack. In a separate and far more tragic incident, a 70-year-old German tourist was dragged under the water and killed while snorkeling in shallow waters near Nama Bay, her life violently taken in seconds. Witnesses described the scene as absolutely terrifying, blood spreading across the clear waters, frantic swimmers trying to escape, and helpless observers on the shore watching in disbelief as the deadly reality unfolded. These attacks were not minor scrapes or accidental bites. They were savage, life-altering maulings that left lasting physical and emotional scars on the survivors, and a permanent void for the family of the woman who lost her life. The attacks sent shockwaves through Sharm el-Sheikh and the global tourism community, sparking fear and confusion. Beaches were immediately closed. Rescue boats patrolled the waters, and authorities scrambled to identify and capture the sharks involved. Locals and marine experts later confirmed that the oceanic whitetip and mako sharks were likely the culprits, species not normally found this close to shore, which made the attacks all the more unusual and alarming. Scientists debated the potential causes: overfishing, reducing the shark's natural prey, illegal dumping of animal carcasses into the sea, and unusually high water temperatures that may have altered shark behavior. Some experts even suggested that feeding fish or improper waste disposal near the beaches could have conditioned the predators to associate humans with food, though nothing could erase the terrifying reality for those in the water that day. For the victims, there was no warning, no escape, and no way to predict which swimmer would be attacked next. Emergency medical teams worked quickly to treat the severe injuries, performing multiple surgeries to save limbs and stabilize victims, while psychologists tried to address the trauma inflicted on everyone who witnessed the events. The brutality of the attacks and the randomness of survival left survivors questioning the safety of swimming in waters they had once considered peaceful and inviting. The long-term impact of the attacks was both human and economic. Physically, the injuries were devastating, leaving survivors with permanent scars and disabilities. Psychologically, the trauma lingered for years, as the memory of being bitten or watching others get mauled haunted those involved. Economically, tourism, the lifeblood of Sharm el-Sheikh, suffered as news of the attacks spread worldwide, scaring potential visitors and forcing resorts to implement new safety protocols, including shark nets, patrols, and constant monitoring of swimming areas. The story of the German tourist who was killed became a chilling reminder that even idyllic vacation destinations could harbor lethal dangers, and it underscored how quickly a day in paradise could turn into a nightmare. Today, the 2010 shark attacks in Sharm el-Sheikh remain one of the most notorious incidents in Red Sea history, a time when the ocean transformed from a place of beauty and relaxation into a deadly hunting ground, leaving a permanent mark on the memories of those who survived, the families of the victims, and the very identity of the resort itself. The event stands as a stark testament to the raw, unpredictable power of nature and the fragility of human life, even in a place designed for leisure, adventure, and carefree enjoyment. Anselatio on Praslin Island in the Seychelles is celebrated worldwide for its crystal-clear turquoise waters, soft white sand, and breathtaking natural beauty. For years, honeymooners and tourists have flocked to this paradise to escape the stresses of daily life, expecting peaceful swims and sun-soaked relaxation. But in August 2011, this idyllic setting turned into a scene of unimaginable horror. 2 separate shark attacks occurred in quick succession, claiming the lives of innocent tourists in a way that stunned both locals and the international community. The first victim, a French tourist, was swimming near the shore when a powerful shark struck without warning. Bystanders rushed to assist, pulling him from the water with urgent determination. But despite their frantic efforts and attempts at first aid, he succumbed to severe injuries and massive blood loss. Only days later, tragedy struck again at the same picturesque beach. A British honeymooner, enjoying what should have been one of the happiest moments of his life beside his spouse, was attacked while swimming mere meters from shore. Witnesses describe a scene of sudden chaos and terror, where calm waters transformed into a scene of panic and desperation. Despite immediate intervention, the second victim also lost his life. These shocking events were unprecedented for the Seychelles, where shark attacks are extremely rare, and they highlighted the stark contrast between the island's serene image and the hidden dangers of the ocean. The immediate aftermath of the attacks brought swift action and heightened awareness. Local authorities temporarily banned swimming at Anselazio and several nearby beaches, while marine experts were consulted to assess potential risks and recommend precautionary measures. Anti-shark nets were installed, patrols increased, and scientists worked alongside officials to better understand why sharks might venture closer to shore in this region. Speculation arose about the species involved, with some reports suggesting tiger sharks or bull sharks, and even possible evidence pointing to a great white, though nothing was definitively confirmed. The rarity of these attacks amplified their shock, making tourists and locals alike reconsider the safety of a beach long considered perfectly secure. Guides, tourism operators, and authorities were faced with the difficult task of reassuring visitors while mourning the loss of 2 lives. The events prompted a broader conversation about the balance between tourism and safety, as officials recognized the need to protect both human lives and the natural marine ecosystem. The shocking reality of August 2011 served as a powerful reminder that even in the most beautiful locations, the ocean remains a wild, unpredictable environment where human expectations of safety can be dangerously misleading. In the long term, the attacks left a lasting imprint on Seychelles' approach to beach safety and visitor education. Swimming bans and safety protocols were refined over the following years, and local authorities, guides, and marine experts increased efforts to monitor shark activity and inform tourists about precautions, such as avoiding swimming alone or during certain times of day. Despite the fear these incidents caused, the Seychelles maintained its status as a premier tourist destination, but visitors approached the ocean with a renewed respect for the forces beneath its serene surface. The 2011 shark attacks at Anselazio became a stark example of how paradise can hold hidden dangers, underscoring the fragile boundary between human enjoyment and nature's unpredictability. While most days continue without incident, August 2011 remains a grim chapter in the island's history, a reminder that even the most beautiful places can carry serious risks. The lessons learned continue to influence safety measures, awareness campaigns, and responsible tourism practices, leaving a legacy of caution alongside the memories of the lost lives. It is a story of tragedy and awareness, one that forever altered perceptions of Anselazio and the delicate balance between human activity and the natural world, proving that even in paradise, respect for nature is never optional. The Zambezi River in Zimbabwe is famous for its breathtaking views, thrilling river safaris, and the majestic Victoria Falls, but in 1996, it became the stage for one of the most terrifying wildlife encounters in history. A group of tourists and their guides set out on what should have been a routine canoe trip, expecting nothing more than a scenic ride and perhaps a few playful splashes from hippos in the distance. Little did they know that they were about to experience the raw power of one of Africa's most dangerous animals. Hippopotamuses are deceptively calm on the surface, but beneath the water lies a creature that is incredibly fast, brutally strong, and notoriously aggressive when it feels threatened. On that fateful day, a massive bull hippo saw the small canoe as an intruder in its territory. With terrifying speed, the hippo flipped the boat, hurling the tourists into the churning waters. Panic and chaos erupted as the group scrambled to stay afloat, but the hippo wasn't finished. One guide was violently dragged under, leaving the others to watch helplessly as a life was taken almost instantly. The violence of the attack was horrifying. Limbs were bitten, arms and shoulders torn, and blood stained the otherwise serene river. The incident serves as a chilling reminder that in Africa, even the most scenic waters can harbor lethal threats. Among the survivors was Paul Templar, a 27-year-old guide who rushed to help his colleague, not realizing just how close he was to becoming the next victim. The hippo turned its full attention on him, lunging with such force that Templar was literally swallowed in part by the beast. The animal's massive jaws clamped down repeatedly, crushing bone and tearing flesh. He suffered more than 30 severe bite wounds, and his left arm was so badly damaged that it had to be amputated. Each second under attack was a battle between life and death, with Templar struggling to breathe while the hippo tried to drown and devour him. The strength and ferocity of the hippo were overwhelming. It was a brutal reminder of how quickly a fun adventure can turn into a fight for survival. Meanwhile, other members of the group floated nearby, some with injuries, some in shock, witnessing the horrifying scene unfold in front of their eyes. The chaos and terror were so intense that it would leave lasting psychological scars for everyone involved, making it clear that despite their training and experience, humans are no match for the raw power of a determined hippo in its own domain. After what seemed like an eternity, Templar was finally rescued, though not without lasting consequences. He survived, but the physical and emotional toll of the attack was profound. The other guide, tragically, did not make it, becoming another statistic in the long list of fatal wildlife attacks in Africa. The incident was widely reported in the media, with vivid accounts of the injuries, near-death experiences, and the sheer unpredictability of encounters with wildlife. Paul Templar would later recount his story in interviews and books, providing a first-hand look at the terror and violence of a hippo attack. While the story is horrifying, it also serves as an important cautionary tale for anyone daring to venture into habitats of wild animals, no matter how calm or picturesque they appear. Nature can be as unforgiving as it is beautiful, and the 1996 Zambezi River hippo attack remains one of the most shocking reminders that even seemingly peaceful creatures can turn deadly in an instant, leaving humans battered, injured, or worse. If you ever thought a relaxing day at the beach was all sunshine, cocktails, and sandy toes, the tragic story of Maria Fernanda Martinez Jimenez is a harsh reminder that nature does not always play nice. Maria, a vibrant 26-year-old woman from Mexico, went to Malac Beach in Jalisco one December day in 2023 to enjoy a swim with her young daughter. What should have been a joyful, ordinary moment turned into a nightmare in seconds. While helping her 5-year-old climb onto a floating play platform, a shark, species unidentified but terrifyingly efficient, attacked Maria, biting her leg with such ferocity that she did not survive the injuries. Witnesses, including her terrified daughter, watched helplessly as a normal day at the beach became a scene of horror. It is the kind of story that makes you pause and reconsider every casual dip in the ocean, even if you are a confident swimmer. The fact that Maria instinctively prioritized saving her child before herself adds a tragic heroism to the story. She faced the ultimate danger and acted with extraordinary courage, yet the ocean took a deadly toll. The story did not end with Maria. Barely a couple of weeks later, the coastal waters of Guerrero, near the resort town of Zihuatanejo, became the scene of another terrifying encounter. A Belgian tourist, enjoying a vacation that should have been carefree, was attacked by what officials initially suspected might be another shark, or possibly a crocodile, given the local waters and reports. The man died from his injuries, and a female tourist nearby was also seriously hurt, requiring hospitalization. This second incident, so close in timing and location, naturally led people to assume the same predator had struck twice. but experts pointed out that the distances between Malak and Zihuatanejo are far too great for a single shark to plausibly travel in such a short time, and water conditions in each area differ enough to suggest multiple animals, not a single rogue shark, were involved. Regardless, the fear and shock rippled through the local communities, shutting down beaches and prompting urgent safety warnings. These attacks serve as a grim reminder of the unpredictability of the ocean. While shark attacks are extremely rare, far rarer than the media hype often suggests, they are impossibly fast and brutal when they do occur. The nature of these predators is unforgiving. In moments, a casual swim can become a life-threatening situation. People tend to romanticize the beach as a paradise, but for creatures like sharks, the water is their hunting ground, not ours. The injuries inflicted in such attacks are severe, bloody, and often fatal, leaving scars both physical and psychological for anyone who survives or witnesses the event. Maria's story is particularly haunting because she died performing an act of love and protection, which underscores just how quickly ordinary human behavior can collide with the harsh realities of wildlife. Authorities and experts continue to study these incidents to better understand shark behavior in Mexican coastal waters. They monitor feeding patterns, seasonal movements, and environmental changes that might drive these animals closer to human swimming areas. Meanwhile, locals and tourists alike are reminded to respect the ocean, heed warning signs, and avoid risky behaviors like swimming at dawn or dusk when sharks are more active. Although the odds of being attacked remain extremely low, Maria's story, along with the attacks near Zihuatanejo, reminds us that danger can strike anywhere, turning moments of leisure into sudden tragedy. The ocean is awe-inspiring, but it is also indifferent to human life, and these incidents highlight just how thin the line is between enjoying nature and facing its deadliest consequences.